Morning! That's the sunrise hitting Burnt Mountain over there. And so I'm gonna stop and talk a little anime.
Galaxy Railways.
Galaxy Railways is a 2003 sci-fi action anime TV series, a spin-off from Leiji Matsumoto's Galaxy Express 39 universe. That's a far future setting where mankind is spread across the universe and where spacefaring trains carry passengers from world to world. Yes, the Galaxy Railways is a vast network of trains that travel through interstellar space. They look like old trains with steam, diesel, or electric locomotives and a bunch of passenger and freight cars following behind. Keeping order along the galactic railways are the men and women of the Space Defense Force, or SDF, a sort of intergalactic railway cop. The story takes its time getting started, but after an introductory episode, it settles in as the story of a young man, Manabu Yuki. He's a new recruit for the SDF. As we see in the first episode, which serves as a preamble to the series, Manabu's father and older brother both died serving the SDF. Needless to say, Manabu's mom isn't keen on her youngest kid following down the same tracks. Manabu is assigned to the elite Sirius platoon. They patrol the spaceways aboard their specially armed police train, codenamed Big One. Its platoon leader is Captain Bulge, who once served under Manabu's father. His crewmates include Bruce, who berates and dresses Manabu down at every misstep like an angry drill sergeant, plus Lise, who's also a new recruit, and an affable veteran named David. Also aboard the Big One is Yuki, who describes herself as a medical sexoroid. She's some sort of artificial life form, but I do not think that word means what they think it means. She's just a nurse. Basically, the Sirius platoon gets dispatched from headquarters to rescue passengers from stranded trains or deal with anything else that turns up on the railways, from thieves and hijackers to ghosts, lost children, or alien invaders.
Move out! Ahead full! The hijacker has taken control of the 620 Express.
Manabu starts off as an inexperienced, idealistic, and naive young lad. He does some maturing over the course of the series. One running thread is what he thinks of using a gun, whether he wants even to have a working gun, and whether he's willing to fire it. The series starts off mostly episodically with a series of unrelated small stories. Each of the members of the Sirius platoon will get some background and personality development along the way. Also, a couple of the SDF's other platoons and their officers will be introduced as regulars, and they'll get fleshed out a little bit too. God help us, there's even a spa episode. It isn't until the last 7 or 8 episodes that the Galaxy Railways series actually begins to develop a running plotline and starts killing off characters again, so that it can finish with a big high-stakes climax. Although apparently set in the same Leiji-verse as Galaxy Express 39 and Space Pirate Captain Harlock, these stories stand completely on their own. There's no crossover, unless you count Harlock's image appearing briefly as the Joker on a deck of playing cards. Matsumoto, in the interview on the DVD that's included, that he considers Manabu Yuki to be Kei Yuki's younger brother, but if you never heard of that Arcadia crew member, it's not going to matter at all in this anime because there's no crossover. The anime also includes this enigmatic woman, Layla, who seems to be some sort of psychic seer. She keeps showing up to look worried while staring into that big blue crystal ball in her huge empty room. What she has to do with the rest of the story is still a mystery after it's all over. The character art has a retro look back to the 1980s with a touch of modern shading. It keeps the old-style hairstylings and uniform designs, but these character arts look less like Matsumoto's manga stylings than a lot of other recent anime based on his works, and is perhaps closer to Cosmo Warrior Zero in appearance. The animation is fine, but I think I could have done without some of the retro style when the characters run monkey style. The backgrounds are typically ordinary for a spacefaring future whose cities, offices, spas, and cars look pretty much like today's. Other than the flying trains and a few other small elements, there's no really interesting technology floating around, and the world is devoid of alien races, with one small exception near the end. Of course, the series is going to give anyone who demands hard science fiction a major headache, After all, Sirius Platoon patrols the galaxy in what appears to be a steam-powered train that even trails smoke from a smokestack. The music is as retro as the artwork, starting with the old-school opening vocals by Isao Sasaki, who sang the opening for such 70s hits as Galaxy Express 39, Getter Robo, and Gatchaman. Funimation's English dub sounded fine to me, though the dub script is rather freeform, as Funimation is sometimes wont to do. It borrows a few English phrases from old US sci-fi series as well, which I suppose is just in keeping with the retro style of the anime. Despite my predisposition to like just about anything from Leiji Matsumoto's imagination, I had a lot of trouble getting really interested in this series. It starts off strong with two grand heroic gestures by Manabu's father and brother, each giving up their lives to protect the galaxy. While that gives Manabu an impossibly high standard to live up to, we don't have these larger-than-life heroic archetypes around beyond the first episode. The rest of the first half of the series is rather tame by comparison, with the characters dealing with rather banal problems on the railways. True, it does use the time to develop and expand the cast, but it's like watching Tadashi Daiba without Harlech around. Galaxy Railways just takes a little too long to get into the really involving and serious story at the end of it, which gets rolling in the last quarter of the series. Overall, I give Railways 3.5 stars. I feel guilty not finding a Matsumoto creation a little more brilliant, but I just never got really excited about this cast of characters. It seemed a very ordinary space opera. The Galaxy Railways is released in North America by Funimation, and it's available as a complete DVD set. The DVD contains some extras, including the Japanese launch announcement and a short interview with creator Leiji Matsumoto, with English subs, of course. Plus it has commentary tracks by the English director and voice actor for a couple of the episodes. The Galaxy Railways spawned 2 sequels in Japan, neither of which made the jump across the Pacific. Thanks for listening.